My name is Stephen Carson, and welcome to Don't Touch the Radio. Today we're going to be talking about the new album from Cayetana called New Kind of Normal. Cayetana are a trio rock band from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and this is their second full-length album, but their first on their own brand new record label, Plum Records. I got interested in Cayetana back in October of last year whenever they opened up for the band Pup. And these girls really caught my attention with their sound. It's almost like, imagine Best Coast, but a little bit less beachy and surfy, with a little bit more of like an emo and punk rock tinge to it. That's kind of the sound that Cayetana has. The lyrics are very self-deprecating, while the music is bouncy and dancey. That creates a dichotomy that's very interesting. And lyrically, many of the songs here talk about dealing with self-defeating issues while also trying to find someone to try and enjoy life with while we're here. It's about embracing the things that make you unique and creating a, pardon my pun, but a new kind of normal with your friends and the people around you. Instrumentally, oddly, many of the tracks use the guitar to create noise and bass notes, while the bass guitar plays many of the lead licks. I thought this was really cool. It caught my attention almost immediately on the song Am I Dead Yet?, the first track on the album. And this creates a unique sound that helps them stand out a bit from your typical like indie emo punk. And the sound a lot of time reminds me of something kind of like Nirvana's Bleach, but more dialed in and a lot less frantic than that. So a little bit more, I don't want to say poppy, but a little more catchy and in sync rather than all over the place. Lead singer Augusta Cook's vocals also help the band stand out a lot. She has a very sweet and endearing voice, but you can also really hear the anger and pain in her voice on certain tracks when she lets it out, such as on the track here called Bus Ticket, which is about struggling with and recovering from depression and how that may have possibly sabotaged a past relationship. And you can just really hear her voice even cracks a few times, and like I love that they left those little things in, those little minor things that, you know, a bigger band would probably be like, all right, let's do a retake, or, you know, that didn't sound perfect, let's do that again. But here they leave that little stuff in, and I think it helps add a lot of character and personability to the music here. The band also does some experimentation that helps diversify the album from getting too samey. Tracks like Side Sleepers and Certain for Miles slow the album down a little bit, but still keeps everything energized. And the track Follow, instrumentally, almost sounds like a Joy Division like B-side. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, wait, I had to check my Apple Music to see if something happened. I was like, am I listening to Joy Division? But not in a bad way. Like, it doesn't sound like they're like ripping them off, but it just sounds like something that could have came from Joy Division, which is a good thing in my opinion. Moments like these don't bring down the energy of the album, but help keep the listeners from forgetting which songs are which can happen a lot of times, especially I find in this genre, as it can become very formulaic if you don't do something to spice things up every now and then everything can start to feel samey. And I think these three girls did a great job of keeping everything where it's within one sound, like you can pin down their sound. So it's not like all over the place, but there's enough differentiation between tracks that I can pick out, okay, whenever I hear this is Mesa. Whenever I hear this is Easy to Love. Stuff like that. As far as production goes, I think it's done really well. All three members of the band stand out just enough to where no one gets buried, but you can pick up each instrument pretty easily most of the time. There's a few times where like the bass will get a little buried, but I mean that's bound to happen from time to time. No one can ever get anything perfect, and you know, at times there's parts where the bass, you know, needs to blend in more with the guitars, and there's parts where the bass needs to stand out more. So It was probably done on purpose, but yeah, I think overall, I think they did a really good job, especially doing it themselves. It sounds really good. Uh, Overall, I think this is a really solid second album from Cayetana. The album exceeds both lyrically and instrumentally and keeping me interested throughout, which is kind of a basic gauge that I use on like first couple listens. Like, am I tuning out halfway through the album or am I staying engaged all the way through? And this album kept me engaged all the way through. The first time I actually listened to it, uh, I was playing NHL 17 on my on my Xbox, and I found myself paying more attention to the album tracks than the actual game that was going on at times. So that's a good sign. If I'm more interested in your music than hockey, then that's a pretty good sign. Um, and I really like the juxtaposition of the bouncy bass lines and danceable melodies with the darker subject matters that the album tackles. It reminds me kind of Pup and like Jeff Rosenstock and a lot of indie rock and pop, indie rock and punk. Excuse me, a lot of indie rock and punk that's coming out right now, where they take these really fun, exciting instrumentals, but then what they're actually talking about is pretty dark and can be depressing. And I like that juxtaposition. I don't know, maybe I'm psychotic, but I like it a lot. And so basically, this isn't a revolutionary album or idea, but it's a damn solid one that I think is going to keep me dancing and singing along all summer, and definitely keep me intrigued and watching these girls to see where they go from here. And hopefully, I'll be able to catch them on tour sometime this summer. If they come back to North Carolina, that'd be great. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. If I had to give it a number rating, I would definitely say a really, really solid 7 to like a light 8. Just because it's really, really enjoyable. But like I said, it's not reinventing the wheel or anything. But yeah, definitely something that I'm going to keep listening to throughout the summer. And I've already added a lot of the album tracks to my permanent playlist. And so, yeah, you guys have a new fan out of me after seeing you live and now hearing your new album. I'm definitely a fan now. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.